Hi, I'm Steve Younis from Superman homepage. Thanks to Warner Brothers, I was able to gain access to an advanced screener of the pilot episode of Superman and Lois ahead of its premiere. And having watched it twice now, I'm happy to report that I'm quite pleased with what the CW has in store for us. First and foremost, Superman and Lois doesn't feel like any other show from the CW. The tone of the show feels more grounded somehow. There's a gravitas to the pilot that gives it a more mature feel to it. And that's not to say that a younger audience won't enjoy it, it just felt more adult somehow. Visually, the pilot is impressive. The special effects are movie quality. So many of the visuals brought to mind past Superman films, including Man of Steel and Superman Returns. There were elements of both in certain scenes. There were also nods to Superman comic books, Fleischer cartoons, the Donner films. Even Siegel and Schuster get a nod on their noteboard in the Kent's apartment. Having read the script for the pilot, I was pleased to see that the final version on screen matches up with what was on the script. The story is solid with a great blend of action, superheroics, family drama, team angst and humour. The cast do a great job. I wasn't sure how I'd feel about the Kent twin sons, but they're both engaging characters, while Jonathan is more affable and more likeable of the two, with a slight smugness about him still. He doesn't come off as a jerk. The relationship between the twins is believable. While they're completely different and have that brotherly rivalry that is common amongst brothers, they also have an unspoken bond that comes across on the screen. They rib each other often, but you can tell they're close and care greatly for one another. I'm happy to say that the Lois and Clark relationship is quite solid. The chemistry between Tyler Hoechlin and Bitsy Chulok is more believable here than it was in, say, their appearances on Supergirl or the CW crossovers. You can tell that the pair are more comfortable with each other, and their relationship sets a solid platform for the drama that unfolds around them. They feel like a couple that have been married for, quite a few years. They feel like a team. Tyler finally gets to shine in the duality of the role. I'd always liked his Clark Kent, but it's his Superman that really comes to the fore in the pilot. If you were worried that Superman wouldn't have much to do in this series, don't worry. There's plenty of action in the pilot, and Superman really gets to display all of his powers. I was even pleasantly surprised by the relationship between Superman and General Sam Lane. It's quite different to any other version of the Superman general, son-in-law, father-in-law dynamic we've seen in the past. And speaking of relationships we've seen in the past, I was concerned that having Lana Lang in this series would make for an unnecessary or unwanted love triangle, but that's not the case here. While it is mentioned that Clark and Lana used to date, it's a throwaway line that gives viewers the understanding that they are old friends, and although I definitely get the feeling there'll be more drama with Lana's husband, Kyle, the guy isn't the most likeable person, and there's surely something going to come down the track. It wouldn't be the CW if there wasn't some teen angst. However, while the Kent boys and Lana's daughter Sarah will definitely take up a fair portion of screen time moving forward, the relationship between them wasn't too painful. There were a few eye-roll moments, especially with the dialogue, but all in all the characters worked well together. Sarah is a likeable character and didn't come across as the usual teen girl with issues that sometimes can be a cliche on TV dramas. The show, as you know, is called Superman and Lois is very much an equal part of the story. While quite a bit of screen time is given to Superman and what he needs to do, Lois isn't overshadowed at all. There's definitely a story in Smallville that will require her talents as a reporter, and I can already see that her nose is twitching to get at the bottom of what's happening with Morgan Edge and his interest in the local farms. Clark and Lois having to deal with whether or not to tell their teenage sons the truth about him being Superman is dealt with really well. How it all comes about, the discussions about the ramifications, it all just really rings true. And that's ironic considering the material. Whether or not either son has powers is dealt with rather well. It's an entertaining ride. There is a major twist at the end of the pilot that will have fans talking, and I can't wait to discuss it all with you. But all I can say is that the recent Crisis on Infinite Earths crossover and the deaths of other Earths plays a major part in who the Stranger is, and it's really interesting. There's a lot to like about the opening episode of Superman and Lois, and as I said, the show feels different to any of the other superhero shows on the CW. While I like many of those other superhero shows, I think the major difference here, besides the way it's filmed, is that this is a show about an actual family. Many of those other shows on the CW are about manufactured families, in that those characters come together to create a support network for one another, like Supergirl's friends at the DEO or the Flash's friends at Star Labs. In Superman and Lois, the support network is the actual family themselves. I'm looking forward to seeing where the season goes from here. I'm glad the CW decided to expand the first season from the original 13 episodes to a total of 15. There's a lot to like about the premiere, and it sets up the continuing story rather well. All in all, I'd say I'd give the pilot a 4 out of 5. The 90-minute pilot will air on the CW in the US on Tuesday, February 23rd from 8 p.m, with a documentary special titled Superman and Lois: Legacy of Hope starting at 9:30 p.m. And if you're in Australia like me, well, you'll be able to watch the premiere of Superman and Lois on the Binge streaming service and Foxtel's Fox 8 channel on Thursday, February 25th from 8:30 p.m, with a documentary special titled Superman and Lois: Legacy of Hope starting at 10 p.m. The Superman homepage will be going all out for Superman and Lois. Author Neil Bailey is returning to the site to write weekly reviews of each episode as they air. He'll also be recording short video reviews of each episode, while also teaming up with Julian Finn, a one-time reviewer at the site, to do a weekly podcast in which they'll discuss each episode together. So I hope you enjoy the premiere of Superman and Lois as much as I did. I look forward to hearing your thoughts after you get to watch it next week. I'm Steve Younis. Thanks for watching. Make sure you head to supermanhomepage.com for more Superman and Lois content.